In the next 2 minutes, I'd like to share with you, it's entitled Dreams from God. Okay, Dreams from God. Well, there we go. I want to share just this one. We've had several dreams from God that have come to fruition. But this one's quite interesting. We were 39 years of age. I just sold our business up, our building business, and we were going to embark on a new adventure, moving to the south of France. I was going to build a house there, etc., etc. So, God gives us a dream. He gave me a dream. He gave me a vision that we would do, that we would have a big tent outreach for God in Saint-Martin-de-Landres, just outside of Montpellier. So, wow, there you go. So off we went. I'm not a preacher, I'm not an evangelist. I've never been called to missionary work, just Joe Bog standard Christian. And so there we go. So we make all our arrangements to go to the south of France. I settled in within a couple of, all on my own. I couldn't speak a word of French. Our daughter went straight into a French school. She could speak French from day one. In the playground, she learnt words in the playground from day one. Anyway, it took me a bit longer than day one, but I was able to share. We found a church in Montpellier with 5 pastors, and even though my French was now progressing day by day, it was absolutely comical to listen to. That's all I'll say. But anyway, I asked these pastors in this church, could they come and meet me in the caravan. We were staying in a caravan before we rented a gîte whilst I was building the house. So anyway, these 3 or 4 pastors came, and they sat in this caravan we were renting, and I said, well, look, I've got this vision for a big chapiteau, a big tent, a big marquee, but I'm praying for some land for free, and I want the electricity for free, I want the water for free, I need about 200 chairs or 300, whatever your faith can believe for, and I need a marquee. And I told them that I was once full of sins, well, of course, but I said I was once full of peaches because I couldn't say pêche. Anyway, so that's how terrible my French was after about 3 weeks. But never mind. But then things started to move, and you would not believe the answers to prayer. But prayer makes things happen. The owner of this campsite where I was at, Patrick and Brigitte, they said, well, you can have that field over there. It's about a half an acre field. It's level, and we'll run the water for you and the electric, and you can have that. And I said, well, praise God for that. This is a vision. And so they said, no, that's all right. We don't mind. And then I got a feedback from the church, and this was the church. You can have 200 or 300 chairs, no problem. We'll arrange to bring them all up. And we've looked underneath underneath the stage in the church. It was a massive church. We had about 600 people in the congregation. And there they got out this big marquee. And the funny thing was, this marquee had previously been used in France for 25 or 30 years by a man from Norwich. So I just moved, my wife and myself and my daughter had just moved from Norwich. And there we go. So there it was under the stage. So they erected it for me. I didn't have to do a thing. 5 pastors came up. They erected the marquee, and we had a wonderful week of outreach. The only stipulation was for myself that we did not have Bible preaching. My stipulation was that we had testimonies that lined up with the Bible, like David and Goliath and things like that, how God answers prayers, living testimonies that God is alive. He's the God of the Bible. Everything in the Bible is about God. It's his word. We can't live without his word. However, he lives and he speaks to us on a day-by-day basis. So there you go. So God really is into your dreams. He's into your aspirations if they're about sharing Jesus, sharing God to the people. So there you go. That was another prayer answered, and we've so many more in the last 49 years. I'm 75 now. The last 49 years of my life have been absolutely thrilling with Jesus, because each time we get problems, we just give them to Jesus. We find a good church to get into, not a religious church, but a church where the Bible is read and where the Holy Spirit is active, and we just stand on every word of the Lord. So I pray that you've been blessed by this short message.